Good morning. So, I felt inspired, inclined, what have you, to share with you my personal reading this morning. So, my morning routine is to come downstairs and make some coffee and make some waffles and pull a card for myself. Usually I will pull one tarot card from this little tiny, perfectly sized for my hands deck, and then I will pull an oracle card. Sometimes when I get really lucky, I will have cards just like jump out. And I always think that's really fun. And so today I had one card jump out, and then I had a little kind of grouping of 3 cards jump out. And then I actually pulled my card for the day. So I wanted to share these with you because I feel like it's a really great opportunity to learn a little bit about tarot. I was having a conversation with, while we were messaging back and forth, it was a girlfriend and I, and she had pulled 2 cards. She was like, what does this mean? And I was like, let's just look at the imagery and like the way that they're facing. And it was essentially like, the first card I felt like was the focus, and the second card was looking at the first card. And so that second card was really kind of about like, I think just calling her attention to take the time to intentionally move towards this, because that first card she pulled, I feel like is really just the essence of her and she's kind of learning to get into that. So I wanted to just kind of share a little bit of that before I actually show you the cards. And I didn't pull them like in a specific spread. I just kind of organized them by the cards that jumped out, the order that they jumped out in, because that means something to me. And then the actual card that I pulled for the day. So I'm going to flip the camera so that you guys can see the actual cards themselves. So these are the cards that I pulled. Queen of Wands was the first card that jumped out. And it actually just like flipped over when I was shuffling the deck. And so kind of put that one aside. As I continued to shuffle, these 3 cards jumped out. And so as you can see, there's 1 upright, 2 reversals. And then this is the card that I actually pulled for the day. So what I want to call your attention to is just the imagery of these cards. So when we look at each of the people in these cards, the fact that there's all people in these cards, everybody's looking or moving in the same direction. Queen of Wands is looking forward. Death is moving forward. The Hermit reversed, he's no longer kind of introspective, quiet, paused. He's moving forward. This 2 of Wands card, like instead of being unsure about which way I should go with something, now is the time to move forward with this. And so the last card that I pulled was the Temperance card. And to me, this card is one part about balance, but also another part about really big transitions. And that, there are times when death comes really suddenly for us. And then there's other times that there's a slow death that happens. Like all of this COVID-19 stuff is very much, in my opinion, my intuitive opinion, about a slow death that's been coming for a long time. And death is not to me literally about like people dying. Death is about a change in systems. And so when I go into the Coffee and Connect video, I'll explain it a lot more. But with this Temperance card, let me just kind of pull these out of the way. So essentially, the way that I read this is that this is me, that there's some action that I need to take, because look, there's a little kitty here, because there are big changes that need to happen for me. And I've known that. I know that I've been changing for a while. And so because I'm a Cancer and because I'm still learning how to handle the unexpected, this card is just letting me know, like, this doesn't have to be a huge shift. This isn't like a complete 180. This is a very gradual, if you kind of think of the way like the sun comes up and the sun goes down, it happens over the course of a day. And with these 2 cups, like the way that this angel is kind of pouring water from one into the other, as I've talked about before with Temperance, it's about tempering something. So one of these cups has cold water, one of these cups has hot water. The goal is to get warm water. So you pour a little of one, into the other and back and forth until they're both very much the same or similar. And this is something that's done like in cooking a lot. But, I need to make some changes. There are some big things ending. It's going to happen in a way that I can handle this. It's going to be completely fine. It's not going to be unexpected. It's not going to be crazy. But these two cards, I feel like, are support cards because, as I showed you before, everybody's moving in the same direction. So I feel like, maybe one of my more gentler guides came through to say, hey, girl, it's time to take some action. Shit's going to change. You're going to be okay. We're with you. Everybody's moving forward. All the energy's moving forward. It's going to be okay. And it's going to be a gradual change. Like, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, just to kind of give you an idea of how I read, as well as like some things when you're doing your own readings, just to really take the time to look at the imagery and just kind of see, I think sometimes we get so caught up in our minds of like, what does this mean in the guidebook? And what does that mean? And sometimes this cards like death can really trigger our fear and anxiety, especially when like fear and anxiety is so high. And just being able to kind of intuitively see like, okay, this thing that everybody's moving the same direction. Like all these cards that jumped out at me are going in the same direction. And this card that I actually pulled, this temperance card of like tempering water and this angel, and it's just really positive imagery, like everything's gonna be okay. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Bye.